know where you are calling in from, and very nice to see you. I'm continuing Time, Money, Freedom. Can't find the cover. Time, Money, Freedom. That's Ray's book that I'm reading. And the bit that we're up to now is take your why and turn it into your vision. So I've got 3 tips for you. Out is, why do you want more time, money and freedom? Do you want to build water wells in Africa, help domestic violence sufferers, help children in need? You know, whatever it is, you know, have a why that makes you cry, is what they say. Now, once you've got that vision, how do you then turn it into practice? Well, tip number 1 is, of course, you're off to a good start if you've clarified what your vision is. I'm very passionate about animals, you know, with rescue animals. So that's one thing. Or I might contribute in other ways. And in fact, this is where we get into the tip number 1. Turn your why into your vision. It starts internally, not externally. And as you grow and develop, you will grow into the person that is able to have more influence, more connections, more networks, and more powerful people around you. And you'll be in a more powerful position. I regularly, and I mean regularly, with a friend of mine, she's in the driving seat on this. She's done it for many, many years. And help her with providing charitable donations through the exchange of, she's got fantastic green fingers, she's got masses of chickens, and she grows lemons and oranges, and giving donations through an exchange of, you know, because she doesn't charge for any of the injections or the feeding or the care of any of these animals, or for growing, you know, the wonderful things she grows in her greenhouse. Donations which she then passes on to the rescue charities, and also things like blankets, and she starts small, because it's about growing. That's tip number 1. It's internal, not external. So how do you become the type of person that is able to have that influence to achieve those big things? So how will you change in order to accomplish what you want to become? And secondly, you know, how can you find success in doing something meaningful for you? How do you actually find that success? So tip number 2, you've got to think about and then reverse engineer. Present day, you have to meet it in the middle, and you've got to grow and develop as a person yourself, and continue along that path. And as you do, then bigger things will come into your life as you have a bigger platform and a bigger influence. So that's the second tip for today. So, for example, one of the illustrations in the book is, he says, maybe you become a stylist and you make videos about how to dress for different kinds of interviews for people who are on a budget or working with second-hand popularity. You leverage that to grow your paying clients, and connections will help give you access to clothes you can pass on to women who need them, you know, domestic abuse survivors, etc., etc., and, you know, helping them on their path. So that's how, from a small sort of bag of clothes as a donation, through developing your videos and developing into courses and seminars, developing your reach and your power to do bigger things, to turn your why into the vision that becomes a reality. So to reverse engineer it and work backwards and see what you're doing and then build on that. So you can start small and then grow. So that's tip number 2. And then tip number 3, and this is the crucial one, you have to find your platform. And it's taken me a decade to find my platform, maybe a little bit less, 2018 I started doing what I'm doing, and you have to constantly then practice your craft. So in case you don't know, if you look on my page, my particular thing is trading, and that is my platform, and I found my voice. So having had a then moved and really resonated with me and what became my passion, and this is my platform because it enables me to grow and develop as a person, and for my family, and for the outreach, and for all the charitable things, or my why that makes me cry, that I want to do. So once you've found your platform, you've got to then practice your craft, and I practice my craft, as some of you know, all day every day, and I carry on doing that. So for you it might be coaching. You've got to continue to hone your craft. I hone my craft. I'm always a student. We have a saying in our community, always a student, and even the multi-million-dollar traders say the same. Now, if you're struggling with that, then brainstorm, and this is Ray's action for this particular area. Brainstorm at least 5 platforms you could use to start moving toward your vision right now. No idea is too big or small. Be sure to include some low-hanging fruit so that you have an idea you can access and act on it right. For in lockdown, and do you want to be part of that business? So how is what you're doing as a hobby, is that something that I would call low-hanging fruit? Creative artist work. I've got a friend who paints the most beautiful art onto slates. It may be a hobby you love. If this is how you're going to reach your goals, then step into being that. Look, dress and market themselves as a person and online. You can't just walk around looking cute. I'm successful, but no idea about renovating the end of a castle. I absolutely adore it. I can just see there's a cloth there in the background, and that's because we were cleaning the chandelier, which has arrived back today. So cleaning it all, and it took 2 of us had to put this table in the middle to get up there, and fortunately I didn't have to get up there, etc., etc. But I'm very proud of what I got here. It's got a lot of history, and it's on its journey to becoming have that get going to find your platform. The low-hanging fruit, like Etsy, selling t-shirts is popular. We've got a platform as part of our education community where you can open an e-commerce store. I haven't done that yet, but I will do at some point in the future because everything's there. I don't have to learn it all from scratch. And then finally, bonus tips. So number 1 is internalize it, not externalize it. You've got to be on that journey and grow as a person. Number 2 is take your why and turn it into a vision, reverse engineer it. Where do you start from, and how can you towards that? Us foresaw COVID. The time to put those ideas into action. And you don't have to have, Ray says, a full-blown ultra-detailed plan before your first day in your new venture, but you do have to start. And the stories I hear in my community, I just heard them tonight. We were on a Bitcoin trading session, and 2 of the multi-million-dollar traders sofa surfing. Said he can hardly believe where he has got to, and one of his proteges is 23, again has had a tough early life and is well on his way. I'm not allowed to mention figures, but incredibly inspiring stories. But you do have to start. You do have to do something, see what works and what doesn't, build on what's working, and keep trying new things, because you're starting. The idea of stumbling here is okay, and it isn't your vision. That's what I do. And that's all from today. So tomorrow I'm going to be on to the rule number 4 chapter. This was actually the end of rule 3 in this book. So what we've covered so far is, if I just bring up the content, rule 1, get upset. Rule 2, pluck your weeds. And tomorrow, change your relationship with money. So we'll message me if you want to know you. So bye for now. Thank you for joining.